Thank you, Chair Baldwin, and thank you, Secretary Cardona, for coming and being with us today to discuss the department's budget for 2025. As our chair said, last summer this committee was able to work together to pass 12 bipartisan appropriations bill out of the great hard work of Senator Collins here and Senator Murray leading the charge for us. And while I regret that it was so very delayed, last month Congress did pass the final bipartisan funding bills for 2024. We were able to successfully complete the 2024 process because everyone worked together to find some common ground. Fiscal year 2025 is likely to face similar, if not greater, challenges, but I am hopeful that we will once again be able to come together and produce a bipartisan 2025 bill, labor bill, that prioritizes programs that help provide the opportunity for a high-quality education for all. While the budget proposes to continue spending money on programs and activities that we simply can't afford, I appreciate the somewhat tempered approach this year compared to the previous budgets. The Fiscal Responsibility Act continues to be the law of the land and will govern what is possible for moving forward. Just like last year, we're going to have to make some tough choices. So I am concerned that this budget attempts to go around the FRA, or the Fiscal Responsibility Act, by proposing $140 billion in new mandatory spending for programs that this country simply can't afford and that the Congress has consistently rejected. Expensive new federal programs like free college are ill-advised and unlikely to be considered. Pandemic-era spending is over, and we need to get down to business. The challenges facing K through 12, and I don't need to, as a former educator, or a lifelong educator, I should say, facing K through 12 education are downright alarming for the current generation of our students. We are facing a crisis of chronic absenteeism and failing test scores or falling test scores in this country. The number of kids counted as chronically absent, missing at least 10% of school days each year, is double what it was before the pandemic. In West Virginia, my home state, 28% of the children in school missed more than 18 days of school last school year. That's almost a month of school. This isn't okay. And when kids don't go to school, they don't learn, they don't thrive, and they don't grow, not just academically, but also socially. I know you share this concern, and I hope that your department will continue working to give states and districts the support they need to help get kids back into the classroom. Federal education spending should support states and policies that afford the greatest opportunity for kids to learn and achieve academically. Formula grant funding like Title I, IDEA, career and technical education grants put education decisions as close to the local schools as we can, to the teachers, the parents, and also provide the crucial flexibility that local communities need to best meet the needs of their students. So I'm pleased that the budget priorities does that with these essential programs. However, your budget also proposes to slash other funding intending to help public school students succeed. For instance, the charter school program. Senator Cardona, this is your fourth year in front of the committee, so it shouldn't come to you as a surprise to you that a cut to charter school spending does not go over well in a bipartisan environment. This $40 million cut is based on false claims of declining demand for the program, when really the department's own actions are to blame. The department's imposition of burdensome new program rules and failure to adequately staff the program office are the real reasons for any challenge in this program. When enrollment in traditional public schools declined following the pandemic, charter school enrollment increased. I think that's a pretty clear indication of increased demand. The budget also includes a $600 million, or almost 30% increase in funding for the Office of Federal Student Aid. Yet, the Office of Federal Student Aid already receives more than $2 billion a year, and it's not clear what the American students are getting and people are getting for their investment. And I am particularly concerned by the disastrous rollout of the new FAFSA for 2025 school year. You know, I don't normally come before folks who are doing the best they can do in the jobs they're in, but this has just got me totally undone because it's got everybody in my state and across the nation just appalled at how this could be handled so ineptly. Congress passed the FAFSA Simplification Act to simplify, and the chairwoman said this, and improve the process of applying for federal student aid in December of 2020, more than 3 years ago. Yet this administration's implementation of the law has not made things better for students or administrators. It is not an understatement to say this has been an unmitigated disaster caused by an inexcusable failure of leadership. Implementation of this bipartisan congressional priority should have been a top priority for the Biden administration. It took us a long time to pass that Simplification Act. We could get Lamar Alexander up here to tell us how long. The deadline to update the FAFSA should have come as no surprise. In fact, Congress even gave the administration an extra year to complete it. But instead of prioritizing this important work, the political leadership at the Department of Ed chose to spend time, resources, and personnel to advance the administration's priorities around canceling student debt. To me, that is indefensible. I've spoken with so many West Virginians this past several months who are angry about the department's misplaced priorities and feel discouraged about their future because of the bungled FAFSA implementation. FAFSA completions are down 36% nationally compared to this time last year. In my home state of West Virginia, the number of high school students that have completed FAFSA is down almost 40% compared to this time last year. For non-traditional age students in West Virginia, students aged 25 and up, FAFSA completion rates are down 35%. Maybe students put off post-ed education to work or to care for a family member. And now, because of this mess, they are having to delay their goal of furthering their education. Some students may never end up enrolling in post-secondary education because the hurdles to complete the FAFSA are just too high. And many of those who have managed to overcome the difficulties and submit their FAFSAs are still left in the dark about what financial aid they are eligible for in the fall. This is obviously a huge issue for students and their families, but it is a challenge for our colleges and universities. Because of the delays and challenges concerning the rollout of the new FAFSA, $482 million is hanging in the balance for students in West Virginia, severely jeopardizing college access and affordability for those students, and many of whom would be the first in their families to go to college. Tomorrow is May 1st, traditionally known as College Decision Day. In a typical year, high school graduates across America will be finalizing their decisions as to which college or university to attend. But this year, your department just yesterday sent colleges and the correct information they need to package those aid awards. Still, students are still unable to make plans and informed financial decisions, what is likely to be one of the most expensive and consequential choices that they will make in their lives. I agree with your statement that there is nothing more important right now at the Department of Ed, and I hope moving forward you will be singularly focused on addressing outstanding issues and ensuring that these problems are not repeated in the 25-26 FAFSA cycle. Our students do deserve better. On that note, I am concerned with all of the regulations coming out of the department right now, or expected to be, including the new Plan B student loan forgiveness, Title IX, new cash management rules that would increase the cost of educational materials for our students. I urge you to abandon these efforts. Finally, I would ask you to take action to protect our Jewish students and restore order on college campuses across America. Discrimination based on national origin violates Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, and your department is required to enforce the law. That no student should have to fear for their safety while attending school. Last week, 26 of my Republican colleagues and I sent you a letter on this topic, and I look forward to your response. Mr. Secretary, we have a lot of important issues to discuss today, so I want to thank you so much for being here with us.